What's going on out there, guys? I'm here to answer any questions you may have. So, Krista, all the information you need is on Blackboard. There's an announcement on there that explains everything, and under course content is the chapters that we covered up until this point. Connor, if you refer to the syllabus, the exam isn't until October 4th. This is a session to talk about if you need help with any of the homework or any other questions you might have. So what's going to happen is there'll be another lecture on percentages and ratios and things like that on Sunday listed. Then you'll have a full week to go over all of the lecture material before the exam. So I'm here to help you with anything you may need help with. No, they have to be done on Sunday, Chuck. They'll be open on Sunday until 11:59 p.m. But the week of the exam, that'll be the only thing you have to do on that Sunday. So you'll have a week off to catch up on your other material, other courses, things like that. What I didn't want to happen is that the Monday people had to take it on Monday and the Wednesday people got 2 extra days to look at material, all of that, or stuff be passed around, or you know. As long as it's done on Sunday, Amber, it'll be opened up. I was going to start at 6 o'clock, but everybody's got work schedules and whatever. I'm going to open it up at Sunday at midnight, and it closes Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Chuck, what do you mean by negative fraction? Give me an example of what you mean. So dividing by a negative, okay, we can do that. All right. So all right. So multiplying by a negative or dividing by a negative. All right. So multiplying, dividing with a negative. All right. So two positives. All right. Positive times a positive, or positive divided by a positive. My answer is going to be positive. A positive, all right, multiplied by a negative or divided by a negative, my answer is going to be negative. A negative multiplied by a negative or divided by a negative is going to be a positive. Okay, they're the rules of integers. So, in your case here, you have negative 2/9 divided by, what'd you say here, 2/3. Okay. Now, when I divide by a fraction, I'm really multiplying by the reciprocal. So if I rewrite this out, negative 2/9 times 3/2. So it's change this to a multiplication and flip this when you're doing division of fractions. Now, if I do the math, 2 times 3 is 6, 9 times 2, and you could either cancel out or do it this way, 18, and then I could reduce it. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 18 3 times, and since it's a negative with a positive, this needs to be a negative answer. You can also do this, cancel it out. 2 goes into 2 once, this goes into 1, this goes in 3 times. You can do it that way and you still end up with the 1/3. But the key is a negative with a positive. My answer should be negative. So what I always say is with multiplication division, just do the math and then see what your sign is supposed to be. Does that clear it up? Or you need another example? Okay, cool. What else can I do for you guys? What else? What else? So you'll have a full week the way the schedule shook out because I'm actually ahead of schedule. You'll have a full week. The week of the 27th will be a full week of just reviewing everything. Yeah, an expanded problem. I mean, I won't do that one exactly because copying that whole thing down there. But let's do one. I'll make one up. Let's just do what you wrote. 9 times 1,000. Plus 2 times 100, 8 times 10, 2 times, here we go again, 2 times 100 plus 8 times 10 plus 7 times 1. Excuse me. 3 times a tenth. In my parentheses. 3 times a tenth plus, what else we got here? 7 times 1 100th. 100th. And 3 times 1 1,000th. And again with my parentheses. Okay. So, got to remember our spots here. All right, so I'm just going to use X's. All right, so a spot right here, that's our 1,000 spot. This is our 100 spot, hundreds. All right, this is our ones, or sorry, tens. We're at 10 right now, and here's our ones. Then after we get past the decimal point, we got our tenths, hundredths. I'm shorting it there. I know I'm missing letters. Thousandths. Again, shortening it. No, I'm missing letters in there. I know it's not thousandths. All right, but to get the point, okay, this is where we're looking. So 9 times 1,000, we're going to start here. So that's a 9. 2 times 100, that goes here. So 9,200. 10th spot is 8. And then the 7th spot, all right, or the 1 spot is a 7. Then put your decimal point in. I've got my 10th spots. 3 times 1/10 is 3 tenths, so that'd be 3 tenths. 7 times 100, or 1 over 100, is 7 100ths. And then 3 times 1 over 1,000. So if I were reading this number, it'd be 9,287 and 373 thousandths. So the 3 is in the 10th spot, the 7 is in the hundredths, the 3 is in the thousandths, but we would read this, if we wanted to write this as a fraction, it'd be 373 over 1,000, because we go all the way out to the thousandths mark there. Okay? Make sense? So you're pretty much what the expanded form is basically asking you or testing you on is, do you know where each placeholder is? Do you know where the thousandths is? Do you know where the hundredths is? Do you know where the hundreds is? So that's what they're basically asking you there. Okay, good, good. What else, guys? I mean, if you could do all the work on the review sheet, there's nothing I could throw at you on the exam that you wouldn't have seen before. That I guarantee. I'm not going to try to trick you. I'm basically going to look at the sheets and make up problems that are very similar. Not copy and paste, but very similar. And I'm not going to favor one lecture over another. So you could expect 25% from each lecture. We'll have 4 lectures on this exam, and roughly 25% of each question, or of the total questions, will be dictated to each chapter. I'm not in the game of tricking you guys or trying to trick you guys. Okay. It's not my thing. Well, I make you think, of course, but not going to try to trick you. So what else can we do? What else can I do? Improper fraction into a mixed fraction, Krista? Is that what you mean? Because you can't turn an improper into a proper. Because proper fraction is where the denominator is bigger than the numerator. But if you mean into a mixed fraction, yes, I could do that. No problem. All right, so if I have an improper fraction, like, I don't know, 32 sevenths, and that is terrible. All right, let me get a different one here. Let's see if this works better. A little bit. All right, so if we add an improper fraction like 32 sevenths, you basically divide the 7 into the 32. Okay. So 7 goes into 32 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, and you have 4 left over. So your mixed number is 4, how many times it goes in. Then take your remainder and put it over your denominator. 4 and 4 sevenths, like that. Now, if you want to double check your answer, you take your mixed number and you turn it back into, or mixed fraction, turn it back into an improper fraction. Take this denominator times the number out front. Okay, get your answer, and then add the numerator. So 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 4 is your 32, and then put it over the original denominator, 7. Okay. Need another one or make sense? Either way, let me know. Cool. Like I said, I'll do as many examples as you need, but I don't want to bore you or be like, I can't sit there and watch you eye roll like I'm used to. So, and be like, okay, yeah, we get it, move on. So, but I could do more if you need to, or go over whatever it is you need to. And like I said, those worksheets with the answers on the other side are your best ally of what... I mean, it's going to look just like that. I can't... I'm not even, if anybody who had me, I'll tell you, I'm pretty straightforward and honest with everything. It's exactly going to look like that, except I'm going to have it on Blackboard. That's the difference. With multiple choice, but it's going to be the same, similar type problems. Yep, fraction to decimal. Yeah, and we can do decimal to fraction, which I already did, but we could do it both ways again. So fraction to decimal is just doing division. Okay, let's do the one we just did. Let's do an improper fraction and turn it into a decimal. Okay, so let's do this one first. We'll do that one, and let's do, I don't care, 5/8. And figure out what 5/8 is as a decimal. Okay? To figure out or do it as a decimal, take this and divide it into that. Okay? So we're going to do, for this one, 8 divided into 5. Well, 8 doesn't go into 5. Okay? So 0 times. Then we put in a decimal because we've got to add a 0 there. Okay. Now, 8 goes into 50. Ignore the decimal, just bring it up and then ignore it. 8 goes into 50 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, so 50 minus 48 is 2. Put another 0, bring this down. 8 goes into 20 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract it, bring it down. So that's a 4. 8 won't go into 4. Bring another 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. So we're all done. So 5/8 becomes 0.625. Okay. Now if we were doing it over here, it's 32/7. Okay, and we wanted to turn it into a decimal. Well, you could do it two ways. You could take 7 and divide it into 32. Okay, so 7 goes into 32. We already saw 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28 with 4 left over. Okay. Now, what we did last time is we put the 4 here and we put 4 over 7. What we could do is put a decimal in, put a 0. 7 goes into 45 times. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 left over. Put a 0 there. All right, bring the 0 down. 7 goes into 50 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. 1 left over. And we can keep this going for as long as we want to. Okay, bring a 0 down. 7 goes into 10 one time. All right, 1 times 7 is 7. 3 left over. Bring another 0 down. And you can see it could get kind of tedious after a while. 4 there, and we can keep going on and on and on, depending on where they wanted you to stop. So our answer here as a decimal would be 4.5714. And you could do it the same way if you took 7 into essentially 4, because that would have been the remainder, and we'd end up with the same change. So you're always dividing the top into the denominator into the numerator, or bottom into the top, to figure out as a decimal. Now, if I had the decimal and I wanted to figure out the fraction, okay, so I have the decimal and I want to figure out the fraction. 3.62, or we go over here and do like 0.131, something like that. This is where knowing your places becomes important. So 1 is in the tenths spot. This is the hundredths. This is the thousandths. So you take the whole number and put it over whatever the last thing is. So the thousandths, tens, hundreds, thousandths. So it's 131 thousandths. Over here, we write the 3 pretty big. We want to make it into a fraction. So this is the tens, the hundredths, 62 100ths. Now here's the thing. This is could be reduced. There's a 2 can go into both of these numbers. So 2 goes into 62 31 times. 2 goes into 150 times. And that's our answer there. Okay. So y is 5/8 then equal to 0.625, because 0.625, this is tens, hundreds, thousandths, should be 625 thousandths. But if I reduce it, 125 goes into both numbers. 125 goes into 625 5 times. 5 times 125 is 625. And 8 times 125 is 1,000. So that's why 5/8 is 625 thousandths as a fraction. Make sense? Or did I confuse you more? What else can I do for you guys? Anything else, guys? I just want to make sure, Krista, that made sense. Also, my explanation, besides my exclamation. What else can I do for you guys? I don't want to hold you hostage here. The test is on the 4th, Kathy. The syllabus has the exam schedule for the 4th. I will put up percentages and ratios and everything on Sunday so that you guys could catch up and make sure you have everything down. That is going to be the 20th. Then the week of the 27th, is you'll be able to review that whole week on all that material, because when I was making it, we're ahead of schedule by a week. So the other section said, keep it on the 4th. Let us have a review week on the 27th, which I'm fine with. Krista, all the homework. So the exam will be the 4th, Kathy. Krista, the homework is in the course content on Blackboard. There's a whole bunch of review sheets it's under. Homework review sheets, something like that. So each chapter has a whole set of review sheets with the answers for you to do. I don't collect them. But they are available. But the exam will be multiple choice. You'll have like an hour and a half or something like that, 90 minutes, 100 minutes I usually give. So an hour and 40 minutes to do it. Exactly. That's what it's going to be. Ratios like that. Turning them into percentages, turning them into decimals. Yep. Just like that. Count the blue triangles. How many blue triangles are there to total shapes? How many blue triangles are there to red circles? How many red circles are there to green squares? That kind of stuff. Yes. And then tying it into decimals and fractions and everything we've done. All right, what else? It's all good, Kathy. That's why I get paid the no money to explain. All right. Anything else I could do for you? How we doing? How we hanging in there? Everybody okay? I know this kind of got thrown at you as a virtual course. I pretty much got added a week before the course started. So, again, don't forget about the discussion board that's on. Anything else? I don't want to leave you and you're full of questions or something like that. But I also don't want to hold you hostage, So anything else? Krista, if you need any extra help since you're trying to catch up, just go over the material. You can email me. Or post on the discussion board, either way. All right, guys. Well, if you have nothing else, I'm going to let you go. You have a good weekend. Again, I'll post new stuff come Sunday. Catch up on anything you have to. Send me messages on the discussion board or via email, and I'm here to help you. All right, guys. Have a great week.